Shri Sachidanand Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om. My deep obeisance to the Sadguru, the bestower of everything, dweller on the banks of Srimad Godavari, he who is Brahman incarnate, wearer of the loin cloth, the greatest among the saints, I bow to you. One who guides in crossing the river of mundane existence and who grants refuge to the distressed at his feet. He is the wish-fulfilling tree of the devotees, such as Sai, the saint incarnate. In short, when the Guru's grace is yours, the difficulties of worldly existence disappear. The doors to the right path are opened up without any effort, and unhappiness is turned to true happiness. By constantly remembering the feet of the Sadguru, the obstacles cease to have any effect. Death loses its sting, and the worldly sorrows are forgotten. Blessed are the people of Shirdi who had the pleasure of being in Baba's company for more than 50 years. These must have been the very happy days. In Shake 1840, that is the year 1918, in the first month of Dakshinarayan, in the brighter half of a month, on Vijayadashmi, was the day of Baba's leaving the body. It was the 9th day of the month of Muharram for Muslims and the night of the long knives, massacre of Imam Hussain. In the afternoon, Sainath prepared himself for eternal emancipation. Just as the day for the birth celebrations of Buddha, so became Sai's Punyatithi. The birth dates of gods and goddesses are as much a cause of celebration as death anniversaries of saints. Baba got a slight attack of fever on 28th September 1918. The fever lasted for 2-3 days, but afterwards Baba gave up his food and thereby he grew weaker and weaker. On the 17th day, that is Tuesday, 15th October 1918, Baba left his mortal coil at about 2:30 p.m. According to Viday Professor G.G. Narke's letter dated 5th November 1918 to Dada Saheb Karpade, published in Sai Leela magazine, page 78, first year. 2 years before this, that is the 1916, Baba gave an indication of his passing away, but nobody understood it then. It was as follows. On the Vijayadashmi, Dasara day, Baba at once got into a wild rage in the evening when people were returning from Seema Longhan. Baba at once got into the wild rage in the evening when people were returning from Seema-Logan, that is crossing the border or the limits of the village. Taking off his headdress, kafni and langota, etc., he tore them and threw them into the dhuni before him. Fed by this offering, the fire in the dhuni began to burn brighter and Baba was shown still brighter. He stood there stark naked with his burning red eyes, shouted, "You fellows, now you have a look and decide finally whether I am a Muslim or a Hindu." Everyone was trembling with fear and none dared to approach Baba. After some time, Bhagoji Shinde, the leper devotee of Baba, went boldly near him and succeeded in tying the langota around his waist and said, "Baba, what is all this? Today is the Simo Langhan, that is Dasara holiday." Baba, striking the ground with his satka, said, "This is my Seema Longhan, crossing the border." Baba did not cool down till 11 p.m. and the people doubted whether the Chavdi procession would take place at night. After an hour, Baba resumed his normal condition, dressing himself as usual, attended the Chavdi procession. By this incident, Baba gave a suggestion that Dasara was a proper time for him to cross the border of life, but none understood its meaning. The fire was already bright, and when it was fed by these offerings, it became more brilliant. The upsurge of flames rose highly and mighty and crackled loudly. The devotees were confused. All this happened unexpectedly. It was difficult to know how Baba had in his mind. His way of behavior at the time of Seema Longan was very frightening. The fire's brilliance increased, but Baba's appearance was more lustrous in the fire. The people were dazzled and averted their faces. Agni Narayan, the Lord of Fire, was propitiated by this offering at the hands of the saint. Blessed were the saints that beheld the Digambar Jamadagni. A loud proclamation in the Union of Hail, Hail Sainath reverberated. How could the loud invocation be described? There was a flood of joy. Baba indicated to all that Dasra alone was the auspicious time to cross the boundaries of worldly existence. Therefore, Baba enjoyed only one more Dasra with the residents of Shirdi. Considering the next Dasra to be auspicious time, he offered his body to the earth. Not only did he give an indication but made people experience this. He offered his own body a pure apparel, which on that day was offered as an oblation in the fire of yoga. Tatya was ill with fever at home, and on the other hand, Baba was shivering. Tatya had full faith that Baba and Baba's protector with the Lord. Tatya was unable to leave his bed and come for Baba's darshan. Immense was his physical suffering, which he was unable to bear. Though he was himself distressed with his suffering, his mind was attached to Baba. He could not move or stir, and his suffering increased. On the other hand, Baba moaning and wailing increased twice as much day by day. In no time the ailment became uncontrollable and did not subside. The day predicted by Baba drew near. Balashimpi quaked with fear, and so did Patil Ramachandra. They said, Baba, you are absolutely correct. Now that it is certain, the symptoms are not all good and suffering is on the increase. The 10th day of the bright dawn, Tatya's pulse became lower and lower, and he was in a death-like trance. The relatives gathered around him and was exhausted. But then occurred the miracle. Tatya's danger to life also arrested. Tatya lived and Baba left, as if he had exchanged places with him. Now recall Baba's words. Though Baba used Tatya's name, he made preparations for his own departure correct to the minute. It was no use denying it that when he was given the indication, he had thrown light on the future. But until the event happened, none realized the implication. People said Baba averted Tatya's death by giving his own life. He alone knows what it truly is. Vijayadashmi is regarded as all Hindus to be the most auspicious time, and it is befitting that Baba chose that time to cross the borders. He was ailing for some days before this, but he was ever conscious eternally. Just before the last moment, he sat up erect without anybody's aid and looked better. People thought that the danger had passed off and he was getting well. He knew that he was going to pass away soon. Therefore, he wanted to give some money as charity to Lakshmi Bai Shinde. This Lakshmi Bai Shinde was a good and a well-to-do woman. She was working in the masjid day and night, except Bhagat Malsapati, Tatya and Lakshmi Bai. None were allowed to step into the masjid at night. Once while Baba was sitting in the masjid with Tatya in the evening, Lakshmi Bai came and saluted Baba. The latter said, "Oh Lakshmi, I am very hungry." Off she went. Baba, wait a bit, I return immediately with bread. She did return with bread and vegetables and placed the same before Baba. He took it up and gave it to a dog. Lakshmi Bai asked, "What is this, Baba? I ran in haste, prepared bread with my own hands for you, and you threw it to a dog without eating a morsel of it. You gave me trouble unnecessarily." Baba replied, "Why do you grieve for nothing? The appeasement of a dog's hunger is the same as mine. The dog also has got a soul. The creatures may be different, but the hunger is all the same. Though some speak and the others are dumb, know for certain that he who feeds the hungry really serves me with food." Why did Baba like Dasra only? Because it is one out of the 3.5 auspicious days of the year where there is no need to find out the Muhurat or auspicious time. All know very well that the auspicious time for departure is valued or chosen. On the night that Baba left his mortal coil, the early morning at sunrise, Baba gave a dream and vision to Ganu Das at Pandharpur. The masjid is collapsed. All the grocers and oil mongers of Shirdi trouble me a lot. So I am leaving that place. Therefore I have come here. Cover my body with bakhal flowers. Fulfill this desire of mine. Come quickly to Shirdi. Just then, from a letter was sent from Shirdi. He learnt about Baba's Mahasamadhi. Learning this news, Das Ganu left to Shirdi without losing a moment. Bringing with him all his disciples, placing themselves in front of the Samadhi, he commenced doing Kirtan and Bhajan of Lord's name in a loud voice and continued the whole day. The body is a loan taken from the 5 elements. Once its task is accomplished, it returns to the same elements. Earlier, Baba had given an indication of what was to happen in a marvelous way. The precious time had passed, but the glory remains. Getting fever was a pretext. Imitating ordinary people, he moaned and groaned at times. But within, he was always alert and conscious. After 9:30 or 10 a.m. in the morning, when the time of Niryan came near, he sat up by himself, fully conscious. Seeing Baba in such a condition, the sea of hope rose in the hearts of people. All felt that the dangerous time had passed. Baba very cautiously donated some money to Lakshmi Bai Shinde since Baba had realized that his Niryan was imminent. She was the same Lakshmi Bai Shinde who came to Baba in the masjid connected with some work or service needed. When the oil of the span of life is finished, the flame of life dimmed, the body found rest on the lap of Bayaji, Appa Kote. He did not fall on the ground, nor did he lie on his bed, but quietly sitting on his seat, doing charity with his own hands, he threw off the mortal coil. Nobody knew Samartha's mind or heart's secret. He left the body in no time and became one with the Supreme Spirit. He who had manifested for the benefit of the people ended the avatar as soon as his mission was complete. Speaking in words of daily parlance, Baba imparted the outline of spiritual teaching. Without pinpointing anybody's shortcomings and follies, he kept his devotees happy. Sai pervades perpetually all that is visible and invisible, and is also the Supreme Spirit beyond that. Sai is he that is unborn and eternal. Hemant surrenders to Sri Sai. I encourage all Baba devotees to read the Sai Sat Charitra every day and soak in Baba bliss. Baba bless you. Om Sai Ram.